Also, talk at the camera. Or talk.
I'm camera shy.
Or like talk
I'm
at
camera shy.
Or talk at yourself.
That's why it took a couple of times to bowl on TV to finally win. I was nervous.
Hi, my name is Parker DeKubber. I'm here with my dad, Jeff. We today decided that we are going to do our own PBA player's perspective, even though it's not the PBA. So, for those of you who still don't know, my dad used to be on TV a few times back in the 90s, and this was one of his best shows that he's done. In this full telecast, he climbed the ladder, and we're going to watch the finals match between he and Greg Lewis, and we're just going to get his thoughts on it.
This match that you're going to see was from 1993 when I was fortunate enough to win my Michigan Majors title at Royal Scot in Lansing. Leading up to this, basically the qualifying on Saturday was 224 entries. Top 4 received a bye to Sunday for match play. I qualified 4th with 14-15, was able to not bowl the 2-game match, made it right to Sunday. The 12 finalists for Sunday had to bowl 12 games of match play. The 12th game was position round. Scores were dropped from Saturday, and then the top 5 bowled the stepladder finals on past sports. I had to beat Lon Marshall in the position round. Lon is a former PBA lanesman, very good bowler in his own right, and he was the current PBA lanes, or not PBA lanesman, but the Royal Scot lanesman. And I had thrown the last 6 strikes to force him to double in the 10th to make the show, and he did not get the double. I think he left a 7-pin the first shot in the 10th. And then the stepladder, I had both Jim DePlanche, Bob Quishin, who was the owner, and then both Bob's son, Paul Quishin, who was also the owner, and was able to get by those guys in order to get to this title match. Greg had averaged 240 on Sunday. He was definitely the bowler to beat all day. And, he had such a big lead afterwards, when, of course, the pins dropped going in the position round.
All set to bowl for a title and $2,000 in prize money. The number 1 seed of the tournament.
Greg Lewis with a Teal Rhino Pro, one of the best Brunswick balls ever made.
Chance at the title from the number 5 position.
Purple Rhino Pro came out at that time. This was the beginning, around the beginning of the reactive resin balls that had come out. The Excalibur was the first reactive ball that came out, and all of the big companies, Ebonite, Columbia, Hammer, Brunswick, came out with their own version of reactives. I'm throwing urethane. I'm throwing a crush. Ebonite came out with the crushed versions, and the blue crush was urethane. The crush R that Paul Quishin had used in the previous match, the red ball was a reactive ball. But Greg's using...
He threw it like urethane.
Mrs. Floretta McCutcheon. And as I say, bolstered the claim of women to a legitimate place in this.
Although I guess any full roller can make a ball look like urethane. Ooh.
Yeah, messenger. Yeah, Greg bowled fantastic on Sunday. He lapped us in match play. It was a nice crowd watching in the back. Some of them were waiting to bowl league though, so we were interfering with their league start time. One of the rare bad shots Greg threw pretty much all weekend.
I don't know that there's really too much about bowling that past or present that he wouldn't know about. I'm a little shocked maybe that he got the score right away. But
listening to Larry O'Brien and Lee Snow bring back memories. They were great doing the Michigan Majors telecast. They talked about the bowlers. They were you know, Larry had his trivia questions for Lee. They had just great chemistry behind a microphone, and they helped make these telecasts what they were. And Greg throws one out the door, so I decided I'll join him. And yes, I'm wearing a pink shirt because it was the only shirt they had to offer that went with my purple dress pants.
For those of you who aren't aware, we give him, everyone in our family that's seen this telecast gives him crap for his wonderful wardrobe choice in this telecast.
And a wiggle.
Unbelievably missed it. The pin came out of the bag, hitting it, but not hard enough to knock it down.
God, you can't get those hits today.
I was maybe a little surprised that Jeff tried to shoot that.
Although you don't leave that stuff today either if you're not throwing your thing.
Well, it's
instead chose to hook it and didn't make it.
whole different age now of everybody throwing reactives.
Most comfortable on.
Well, at least came back with a strike. Got to make up for the open frame somehow. I thought I did that pretty good in my bowling career. Throw an open frame and try to come back and make the next shot better and strike. And that count right there just made the match count-wise even. He still had a lead, but Greg bowled very well in the majors. He had at least one title. I'm not sure if he had two at the end.
It's hard to think as a bug as a rookie back in 1990. He's been around the
Did you guys have to move chairs?
I did. I mean, I was in the left, and then you always sat to the right. That's the way the telecasts were. You know, the PBA, you had your own chair. This one, I think you moved around just because you had to get up and bowl. Because if I'm sitting right there, then I have to get... if I'm sitting there when the guy comes off the approach, you have to go around and walk, and it took too much time. So if you're sitting right there, you can just get up and bowl.
No, that makes sense.
And I need this one to get the match back even.
God, it's like almost unsatisfying seeing you just hammer the ball at the bottom and it barely moves.
Well, lanes were... It was a fresh pair when we started out. They were tighter. They actually played tighter than the... we bowled on the low end for the match play, and then we had to bowl on this pair, which was... There was only 36 lanes at the time, so we're bowling close to the wall on the high end too, so it was tighter.
This month, the Michigan Majors will also bowl at Nortel Lanes in Monroe, the Match Game Championship, our next televised tournament. Next month from Belleville.
Yeah, that's right, they never televised a match game because of the format. Even again.
Bob, the man who thrilled us with that 300 game a few years ago at Astro Lanes, and one of the great hosts that we have for the Michigan Majors. We're looking forward to going to the doubles.
And Greg, he had a 298 game. Greg Lewis in the finals, the match game finals today.
Nice shot.
Greg throwing that strike to take a 10-pin lead back. It's going back and forth. Once again, a little timeout. We have a pin in the gutter. It must be removed.
You're watching the Michigan Majors, and of course, if you are a league bowler and a consistently high scorer in your league bowling, we invite you to contact the Michigan Majors, and you can do that if you watch this program. Occasionally, during the program, you will see the phone
Just
number.
recruiting any old league bowler.
Ken Sherratt.
hey, that's how you bowl the Michigan Majors. If you're a good bowler in bowl league, you want to come and bowl in a competitive scratch tournament. They hosted them third Saturday of every month, except for this May, where they did a normal tournament and the match game tournament, and then they did the doubles in June. But past sports, before it became Fox, did all of the Michigan Majors telecasts. They would tape them and then show them like 3 or 4 weeks, and then they would show them like every Sunday for a month. So this actually made TV 4 different times. All the shows were on 3 to 4 different times, and a double fist bump. Bowling for a Michigan Majors title. It's prestigious. $2,000 on top. It was only $1,100 for second too. So you're bowling for this, a $900 match. But with the title came, you got to bowl the Tournament of Champions. It's huge. Now we're tied again.
Wow. What a wipe down of that ball.
Teals got dirty. Snapping the 7 out.
He can bring a rather intimidating cheering section in with it. Family, he and his wife, Levette, and their 9 offspring, and there's Marilyn and Natasha and Brandy and India.
Hey, one of his kids was named Natasha.
And Lawrence and Warren. How do you remember all
Isn't that somebody? No, I'm not familiar with that name, I guess. Just kidding. And a flat, throw it little too hard 10-pin. Yeah, I know I needed it. And now I'm thinking I need the spare and strike out.
For those of you who didn't understand the last reference, Natasha is my mom's name. He just looks at you and he's like, nah, not dealing with it.
There were so many problems on 32 with, just small little pins in the gutter. But nothing that hindered the whole telecast, at least. So that was a good thing.
He does have one advantage here, and that's he gets to finish first. But Greg is going to know what he has to do. So he can strike out for 244, which will force Greg to throw the first strike to win. This match is not over.
It's not over. It probably would have been if I didn't strike.
Must strike, though.
Damn, that looked like it was going high, too.
Yes, it did.
Man, he's really impressed us today. He's made some bad shots at bad times and recovered. And it's in really the same situation now.
Every match was close. Bob Queeshan's match wasn't necessarily close, score-wise. But
Yeah, Bob had it rough.
thought that was going high too, but
Well, Larry, this is the kind of final match that I think we were looking for. The lanes did improve as
Only
they
your
went
thing on the
on.
pair, you gave yourself push.
And it's come down to, it's a very important count ball, but it's all in Greg Lewis's hands. Greg throws the next strike, he's our champion. If he doesn't throw
so I know I forced him to mark. You need this one to force him to strike,
this count ball is extremely important. It's the difference between a strike.
and I tug it.
Oh, no.
And he was up fairly quickly to bowl this shot.
Oh,
It was just a weird pin action. I didn't even see the shot. I actually saw it when everybody else did on camera, or on the film. when they televised it, I never saw the shot. I was looking away the whole time. And when I had heard, oh, and then I hurried up and turned around, and he left the 9-pin. I had looked to the right, which you don't see on cameras. I looked right, and I go, tie, right? And they yeah, because it could be a tie. So I'm prepared for the roll-off right here. And then all of a sudden he didn't strike, and then I just realized I'd won the match, and that time frame right there was just, it was so fast that it was just, I didn't realize I won. If he bowled fast, that was actually his tempo. It's not that he bowled fast. He was. If you notice, this match did not go very long. It was a very fast match. But and then Mr. Dan Ottman put his hand on my shoulder. That was when, because I was in a daze for a minute or so after that, and then Dan just coming over and putting his hand on my shoulder. That was the surreal moment, if you want to call it that. And then pointing at all the banners. I had two buddies of mine that had won the doubles, Michigan Majors doubles, a couple of years ago, and they got their names on banners, and that's when I said I got my name on a banner, which that was prestigious back then. The title, the banner, the Tournament of Champions. They only allowed 60 champions to bowl the tournament champions, and it filled every year with a waiting list. So, there's John Busley, who was the Michigan Majors director for the Lansing area, was in the suit in the background. And now my uncomfortable interview. Tired as heck. 16 games of Sunday bowling plus practice. Animated.
No, there's no secret. I just let my emotions go, and sometimes it's bad, but it's what I do, and I just let it go and see what happens.
Would have been nice to prep me with questions, so I at least knew what I was talking about.
Like I was going to ask, did they say what they were going to talk to you about?
No. It was just a conversation. That's what I liked about this stuff, too. It wasn't pre-planned or anything. He just asked me questions. I had to answer them.
I really didn't think the match was over. I just couldn't believe he missed that spare. I mean, the
Paul Quetian 2-pin miss. And then he blew out the 7-pin. That's one thing you don't see or don't think about, was the blowout 7-pin he had in the 10th frame was not the 2-pin wasn't really the deciding. It was the bad break he got in the 10th. And then I had to get up and get the first one and then decent count to just make it to the title match.
If you guys want to see the rest of this telecast, this is on my YouTube channel, the whole thing. It was uploaded back around Memorial Day-ish. So that's what he's talking about. The Bob and Paul Quetian matches are, what were they, in the middle? I think they were. I don't remember.
I just had a great weekend.
Okay, let's bring some hardware in. Our host proprietors, Paul and Bob Quetian, who we also saw on the show.
God, you were the founder of high-waisted pants.
I was thin back in the day, finally, and I actually toned down weight. I look good.
Yeah, and you're pink and purple.
Yeah, the pink and purple attack.
I don't know what's better, your shirt or Paul's.
Hey, we all wore shirts similar to Paul's. Bob has his shirt on underneath the jacket. That's what we wore. We had nice, stripes and, LaMode was the shirt back around that time too, and bowling ball companies were coming out with shirts that were, had designs on them.
Alright, sorry that the video kind of cut out, but yeah, I mean, how must that have felt for the owners of the bowling center who just lost to you, having to hand you your trophy?
Well, they're class people.
Yeah.
I mean, they own the place. They hosted. They both bowled fantastic, and no, they're just class people. I mean, that's what the Michigan Majors Bowling Association was all about. I mean, there were great people who, let alone competed. I mean, Mr. Ken Charette ran the show, and he is a Hall of Famer for a reason. As far as being in the sport, it was a humongous deal to bowl these, and winning a tournament was prestigious. Naming the banner, trophy, tournament of champions, and I believe it's arguably the best tournament organization in the state of Michigan. There's others that I've bowled in that I think that are great, but with the prestige and the recognition that the Michigan Majors has, it was right there at number one.
Alright, so if you guys want to check out his other TV appearances,
I think lost every one.
Yeah, this is the only one that he won, but yeah, I have a playlist of my dad's TV appearances, so you guys can check that up in the upper right-hand corner. You can also check that out at the end of the video. So, if you guys want to see any more of that, especially his match with Dan Ottman has his entire TV telecast that I uploaded as of like a week ago while we're shooting, but I don't know when I'm going to upload this, but just go back through a few videos. It's right before the quarantine bowling video. So, if you guys want to see that, check that out, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.